Hello, it's Julie Rothall here. I decided to do another studio chat. I did one yesterday and got some really lovely interaction and feedback on it. So for those of you that don't know me, I'm an artist, but I paint with quite an unusual medium. I paint with beeswax, hence the title about World Bee Day. It's the 20th of May. It's quite a relevant subject matter considering the day. Anyhow, I've been meaning to paint some bees in beeswax for quite some time, and I started yesterday and I shared a piece, so I thought I'd show you how it was going. And then I'll show you a little bit of my wax painting, or sculpting I'm really doing today, hence my tools here. I'll show you a little bit of that, and then a memory came up, so I'm going to tell you what that has got to do with tangerines. So here we go. Right, this is the piece that I was working on yesterday and I started sharing. And pick it up. So it's in progress still. I shared the bee being added yesterday, and I've added some more. As I said, I was going to get some honeycomb effect going on. I've added some more at the top now. And then I wasn't sure what to do in the middle, and I decided to add some Queen Bee text, and I'm going to build it up a little bit more and add some more of these sort of splashes. So as I say, it's still in progress at the moment, but it's not too far off. So, but the thing I love about this, well, the effect that I've used on this particular one, it's got this really beautiful shimmer. But if I twist this and show you in the light, what you'll see is in some lights, it kind of, you will see the pink and the turquoises coming through from underneath. But as you move around the room and as the light catches, you get this really lovely shimmer that's going on instead. So I'm in the process of adding more of that at the moment. So what I thought I would show you, this is what's made me chuckle today. So I don't know how long I've been etching out these pieces of wax. So what you have to do for this process, so if you haven't seen this before, it's called encaustic wax painting. It's basically painting with hot molten beeswax. You have to work with the wax at a particular temperature. It's got a bit cool actually, so what I'm going to do is take my heat gun and I'm just going to warm it just a little bit. All right, I've got to be careful here that I don't lose what I've done. It's going to be noisy for just a second, so hang on, it won't be long, only a second or two. So what I want to do is just warm that wax just so that it's pliable enough for me to work into it again. Here we go. And then I can start, I've got to be careful doing this, videoing and talking and working at the same time so I don't mess it up. And you see you get these little pieces off. And I've been doing this painstakingly for, well, I'm not quite sure how long, if I'm honest. I just lose myself completely and I love it. So we do this, we scrape the wax out. I've then got this tool, which if there's a real excess of wax, which there particularly has been up here, I then have to scrape out this top section on top. And so it goes on. It's quite a slow, painstaking process. Not painstaking, it's a slow process, but I find it really meditative. I love it. And so you can see, you just kind of pull a bit more out. It's quite, yeah, you can lose yourself completely in the process. And then what I'm going to do, actually I'll show you that bit in a minute, I'll show you how I get the colour inside. So you might be wondering what that has got to do with tangerines. So I've been sitting here doing this morning, and as I say, I don't know how long I've been going an hour or so, just completely my own world, absolutely loving it. And it took me back to a memory from when I was a child. So I would get a tangerine and I would sit and I would peel it. And my mum used to go mad at me, and she'd look at me, haven't you eaten that blooming tangerine yet? I would sit there, I would peel every piece off, I would take every vein off, I would eat the vein individually. But for me, it was something to enjoy and to just enjoy the experience of. So I guess my point is, it used to drive my mum insane. She's like, just get on and eat it. But for me, I just loved that process. So I reckon I should have been a restorer or something like that. I have got the attention span for hours to do this. I can just, but that's kind of who I am. It's what I enjoy doing, and it's what creates my pieces of work. So I repaired some paintings actually, and the thing with this waxwork is it's a time-consuming task, and it's not like mass-produced and bashed out. I'm going to add the colour on now while I'm talking. Every piece is just really carefully pulled together. So I've got some. This is some standard oil paint. Actually, you can use this in small quantities. And then I'm going to push that into the crevices. So I just want to get a little bit of the pigment to colour the marks that I've made. So push that in, and then I'm going to get some tissue and wipe off the excess. There. So I'll keep on building this now and keep going with it. But yeah, as I say, I was repairing some pictures up in London, and one of the other things you do with this is it's got a really high shine on it. Let me see if I can find against the light. Where am I? Here we go. So we got this shine. Actually, it might not shine up as well, but what you do is you buff. Because I've got the that shimmering picture on it, it might not buff up so well. But what you do is you buff the picture, and it starts off as quite a matte colour, and it comes up really, really shiny. If you think about beeswax, it's used to shine wood. It's got a wax, and it comes up to a really high shine. So I'd repaired these paintings in London for a client, and wax can bloom. It can dull down over time depending on what wax is used. There's a bit more to it than that. But yeah, anyway, this particular painting had bloomed, so she asked me to go up and show the staff there how to maintain it. And one of the ladies loved it. You have to go really slowly, and it's almost like a French polish. You just kind of build slowly, really gently, and methodically, and back to this kind of tangerine analogy of just take your time with it. It's beautiful, but you have to take your time. If you rush it and race on through, you can mess it up. You go in when the wax is too warm or too, so and you've got to get the right pressure. So you really have to feel into it, basically. Anyway, one of the ladies there loved it. She was really slow, really methodical, and she was bringing up this really beautiful lustrous shine. The guy that was there, he's like, no, I'm just calling you back next year because I ain't doing this. Just did not have the patience for it. So yeah, it was just funny. Anyway, that's what my wax painting has got to do with tangerines. It's, take your time with it. So one of the things that I find as well is a lot of work is kind of really mass produced, doesn't have much thought to it. It's raced through, and yeah, it's really kind of how much stuff we've got going on at the moment that's bashed out on a conveyor belt. There's no thought, there's no care to it, and that's one of the things that I particularly love about encaustic wax painting for me. So encaustic just means using hot wax, which is what I'm doing here. I did most of the hot work yesterday, but yeah, it's a really slow, there's care and attention that goes into each part of it, basically, is what I'm trying to say. And you don't get that with a lot of things these days. So anyway, each piece of my work is individual, it's unique, one-off. You can see lots more of it on my website, which is artyheaven.com. So yeah, if you want to find out how to paint with wax, or have a scroll back through and see some of my lives, I was actually showing you how I applied on yesterday's live. Ooh, this was all molten, so it's solid now. Actually, it's stuck to my iron. People always ask if the paint will melt, and you know, once it's solid, it is solid. The only way you can work in it is when you've heated it. Hence, I just warmed the heat gun up a little bit. But otherwise, it's absolutely solid. So anyway, I just thought I'd share a little bit there with you, and just check in and say hello again. Yeah, I'm working on a small scale piece today, but I've got work at all sizes, even up to like giant 6-foot paintings. So take a look around and see if you find, see what you think. Anyway, any questions, let me know, pop in the comments below and I'll come back and check later. But thanks for jumping on. Take care. Bye.